sometimes you could create, you leave a 9 to 5 job, so to speak, to create a 24/7 job.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have an entrepreneur from Singapore. Maxwell, can you introduce yourself and tell us the name of your business?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Harry. My name is Maxwell Nee. I have a few businesses, but I'm the Chief Revenue Officer of ScoreApp, which is a lead generation tool used by coaches, consultants, authors, service providers around the world. We have about 6,000 paying clients right now.
Wow, that's amazing. So, Maxwell, tell us a little bit more. Why you decide to become an entrepreneur? Are your parents entrepreneur? Your family? Why you decide to be a serial entrepreneur? Like you share with us, you have more than one business, right?
Yeah, so there's 2 parts to it. The first part is pain, and the second part's freedom. So I used to work in corporate, and I did pretty well. I got like 3 promotions in 5 years, and I was
Wow.
the youngest corporate analyst in the States and all that type of stuff. But it just really lacked, freedom for me. It really lacked ability for me to really express myself creatively and creatively problem solve. And I don't like doing things I don't like to do. I'd rather solve the problem so I don't have to do them instead of being forced to do them, right? So I pretty much pulled the parachute out of my corporate job just because I just had enough, really, really had enough. Like I was in a lot of just can't be here anymore type of thing. And then since then, that's evolved into, I want more and more freedom, and what does freedom look like? Freedom looks like evolving from a location-based business. My dad used to own a restaurant, so he was always very tied down to the location of the restaurant. So I want a zero location based business. So I can be anywhere, I can operate from anywhere, I've got clients anywhere, I can travel whenever I want, I can also earn, as much money as I want, depending on, how hard I work type of thing. So, I would say pain and freedom.
Yeah, but Maxwell, this was very brave also because corporate, they make sure that they make you very comfortable. They pay you a lot of money, and they give you a lot of good things. They make sure that you're very comfortable, so you don't go. Yeah, and you decide to quit this corporate life to go to and to become an entrepreneur, which is something very risky. Are you were aware of the risk that you were getting into when you started your first business? Which one was your first business after you left corporate?
Yeah, so I definitely had those golden handcuffs. Like I was in a very good.
Yeah, golden handcuffs. That's a good
Yeah,
good way to
very,
describe it. Yeah.
yeah, I was in a very good situation that was just um making me less interested in things that I wanted to do slowly. It was like sort of killing me slowly type of thing, right? The golden
Yeah.
handcuff.
But when you quit, what your parents said that you were crazy, your friends, what happened
Yeah,
when you
of course, my parents hated it. I was in
I
a
went
great
crazy,
job.
right? Oh
Yeah,
man,
great
what are you
job, great
doing?
pay, great benefits. I had free car insurance, free credit cards, 2%. I worked in banking. I had
Wow,
2% off home loans, like all these
wow,
benefits, right? But when it comes down to freedom, and I guess you have to
right.
go through to really know, right? You got to experience the pain to really know. When it comes to freedom, um, there's no price that's too high, in my opinion. That's what I started to feel. That's why I pulled the parachute.
I agree 100% with you. I think that freedom is priceless, when you can actually and again, I used to own a restaurant also here in London. I lost over 200,000, you see, and sometimes this experience made me realize what I don't want, right? I want to have a business that I can do it from anywhere. and I want to have the freedom, right? However, people that have restaurant, they're passionate about this amazing lifestyle for them. Yeah, for in my opinion, it's very difficult business, very tough with a lot of variables, a lot of operation. You have to really love it to have a restaurant, and you have to have all the skills. However, um, you can actually because sometimes, Maxwell, the entrepreneurs, right? They get trapped into a business sometimes, and it becomes worse than a job, right? Because you are Monday to Sunday there, you cannot live there, then you have problem, your children don't talk to you, your parents don't talk to you, so it becomes a nightmare for the entrepreneur, which I think is very unfair. But sometimes entrepreneurs get trapped in something that is worse than a job. Is that correct?
Yeah, it happens all the time. You sometimes you could create, you leave a 9 to 5 job, so to speak, to create a 24/7 job. Uh, if you don't plan that well, or you're not,
Absolutely.
so entrepreneurship is a skill, right? And there's 2 ways to learn a skill. You could either learn it with a guide and some help, and like a teacher, a mentor, or you could learn it the hard way. And I think that a lot of people, choose to learn it the hard way, which isn't very intelligent. Because when you're an entrepreneur, you have no, like for example, when you learn skills the hard way in a corporate job, the company that you work for pays for your
Pay for it.
mistakes,
Absolutely.
right? But when you're an entrepreneur and you're learning, you're making mistakes and you're learning on your own money, you're paying for your mistakes. You're paying double, right? Because you're not making money and you're paying for your mistakes. So, the
The trial,
smartest way
trial
to
and
be,
error is very expensive, Maxwell, right? The trial
yeah,
and error is very expensive thing to do when you're an entrepreneur, correct?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I agree with you. Having a mentor, having a coach, is way um, more work viable. Yeah. And the other day, somebody said to me something really interesting. They asked me, Harry, what if you're an entrepreneur? Yeah, what is the fastest way from point A to point B? And I told the guy, well, the straight line. And he told me, no, 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 no. It's the path of less resistance. Think about the river, Harry. Yeah. And I think sometime in business, we want to go from A to B in the straight line as fast as possible. And if we look at like the river, and we follow the path with less resistance, I think that this is where we can find our freedom faster. Yeah, I remember also one of my first business, yeah, with the property.
Mhm.
Uh, I was it reached to a point that I was not needed in the office anymore.
Wow.
The whole team was saying, Gary, Harry, go home. We don't need you. That's fine. I said, do you need paper for the photocopy? Anything? He said, no, 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 it's fine. Stay at home. We don't need you.
Mm.
We run it without you. It's fine. So, and I think that by you pursuing and by you experience what can be, and then I was so bored, and then I opened the restaurant, and I lost 200,000 pounds. That's the irony of this, right?
Yeah.
Uh, the thing is that um, when we want, we can design the type of business we want to have and the type of life we want to live. However, it will take some planning, like you say, Maslow, to do that properly, because sometimes people don't even know what they want, right? Maybe a lot of people come and like this podcast. Everybody wants to make a million. And the first time that I make a million, it lasts 3 days only. After you are like, well, what was the big deal? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so then you start to think what I really want, what type of business I want to have, what type of life I want to have. And then, so when you design in Maxwell, for example, because now we're very careful with business or what we get into because of that. We don't want to compromise the freedom. Is that correct?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So then, so the does anyone in your family is an entrepreneur or any friend or where this entrepreneur is? Okay, you said you have your corporate job and you said I have enough, I'm quitting. But a lot of people, 80%, 90, everybody is in corporate. Sometimes, they cope with it and they never quit. So where do you find the strength, and do you have any role model, or I know that every entrepreneur have something within them that they need, uh, that that you only when I have a chance I'm going to do something amazing. But any external source of inspiration that accelerate this path for you?
No, not really. The only thing was that I, I love growing, right? Growing
Mhm.
and moving faster, and I'd hit a really hard ceiling in my job. So then, the choice was either I slow down my expectations or I try something new. So I wasn't ready to slow down my expectations. So the only other option was to try something new, which is to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about this app that you have, the being a tech entrepreneur, right? Because technology is a different beast. This
Yeah.
you need
Yeah.
funding, you need venture capitalists, you need software developers, you need to find to make the product market fit. So how you decided that one of your business is going to be a tech business, which is something that one of the most rewarding in the world. Don't get me wrong. In this podcast, 5 steps how to make the first million. One of the 5 people that I interviewed are always tech people. So clearly, it's a lot of wealth in tech, but it's a lot of risks as well, very high because technology. Everybody thinks that I can. It's like Facebook and Amazon and whatever. I'm gonna make a lot of money. The reality is, you actually have to serve uh, a market and develop a product and make sure that you have traction for the product. Correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, you know, any tech company, just to give a bit of context, right? So we have an app, a software, an AI software called ScoreApp. And what it does is that it helps coaches, consultants, service providers, SME business owners to create their own quiz funnel so that they can generate leads and sales for their business. And this type of quiz funnel typically converts at like 40%, so cold traffic to a hot lead, which is about 30%. And it helps you to collect a whole bunch of data, a whole bunch of data on your audience. So if you think about how it works, it's a bit like a personality quiz. You know how everyone has done a personality quiz before. You answer 20 questions and you have one of 16 personalities. This helps you to build your own personality quiz, but for your business, so that you can deliver, like, for example, a personalized report for each one of your clients. For example, which body type are you, right? Or which speaking on stage entrepreneur are you, type of thing. And that's really powerful because people love to learn about themselves. People love to learn about themselves. People love to receive instant value. People love to receive personalized value. And thanks to the power of AI, setting up something like this would take 6, 7, 8, 10 hours. But thanks to the power of AI and ChatGPT doing copywriting and things like that, it does about 95% of the heavy lifting, and you can write 6 to 7 hours worth of copy in 30 seconds.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.